Hi, I am Allie Camilletti, and you are listening to Snack Leadership. I will be talking about everything leadership, broken down into bite-sized pieces. You will hear what different leadership skills look like in organizations and how they can rise teams up or take them down. I help leaders build resilience and improve performance by bringing awareness to opportunity behaviors in my business. Spark your mindset. I provide leadership and sales coaching, as well as team building and guest speaking. My hope is for you to feel inspiration and to create a spark in your mindset. Hi, everyone. Today we are talking about hope. Hope is the inner belief that positive change is possible and that our actions, guided by faith, intention, and persistence, can move us closer to a life aligned with our values and purpose. Hanna Bauer at HEARTnomics Enterprises is passionate about showing leaders how organizational success and fulfilled employees are never mutually exclusive. She's worked with teams across different sectors to design leadership experiences that actually move the needle, moving beyond theory to actions that foster trust, communication, and growth-focused mindsets. With her background in Maxwell Leadership, Zig Ziglar, and Lean Six Sigma, Hanna brings practical strategies that translate into better team results and happier workplaces. Her approach is all about lighting a fire under leaders who want to inspire action and make a real difference, not just tick boxes.
That's right.
Hanna, thank you so much for joining today.
Oh, thank you, Ali. I really appreciate it. I'm looking so forward to what you do. I mean, it's just, I love your program, how you have it nice, and the whole thought of snacks. I'm all about bite-sized stuff, just in these mini shapes, little things. So thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. So let's get started.
Yeah.
What is something that you've recently learned about yourself?
Okay, so I saw this was a hard one now. I've learned a lot through leadership, but honestly, for me lately, in this year, is my capacity to rest is in relation to my capacity to lead.
Yes.
Learning that, and it's been hard. I mean, you think I go, sure, let's like rest, vacay time. No. um, but understanding that, taking that pause and giving myself permission to pause has honestly opened up my ability to get clarity, creative, and really letting that compassion flow. A lot of the things that we do need on a daily basis with ourselves and everybody else. Um, I didn't realize how much in sake of for serving other people, serving my family, serving my work, serving the people that I get to train, I wasn't resting. And there's so much power in rest. And it does take intentionality and it takes out work to rest. So that's one of the things I've been learning lately.
I love that. And I agree so much. This year, I actually really scaled back my travel intentionally because I traveled a ton the year before.
Mhm.
And I felt like I was suffering and my relationship with my daughter was suffering.
Yeah.
And now that I've taken a step back and I have really taken more time, I'm like, oh boy, I don't think I want to travel as much as I was traveling.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And you know what? That's one of the things because, in leadership, I mean, the reward of good work is more work, right? I mean, that's the essence. Like we're thinking like, hey, we do what we do and you get rewarded with more of it. And
Yes.
not taking the time to recalibrate with that more. In what type of more, because as more comes and maybe the things that we do want, are there even the things that we do want if we don't take that time to rest? We can't align to, like you said, no, I want to have a relationship. This is what I want. Does this align with that? Because when we don't take the rest to align it, that's where all the burnout and all the things that we start battling with as a leader start happening.
Yeah. I love this topic of hope, and obviously you were the perfect fit for it.
Oh,
Talk to
thank
us
you.
about when did you first really embody this leadership skill of hope? And what did that look like?
My goodness, I would have to say in a sense, kind of hope chose me. Because
Oh,
yeah, you saw a little bit, we talked a little about the story. I mean, as a child, really trying to come to sense, battling a disease I didn't understand. Even the whole concept of life. For me, growing up, when I was diagnosed with a terminal illness at the age of 4, I didn't even understand what that was, right? I mean, it's not like, oh, okay, I get it. This is how we're going to manage it. This is how you're going to work through it. I didn't know. I was a kid. So a lot of my lessons in hope really came from observation initially, on seeing what who everybody else around me, what they were doing, right? My caretakers, my mom, my doctors, my nurses, because they were doing something in response to whatever was happening to me. So coming to sense with that experience taught me that, first of all, hope wasn't just wishful thinking. It wasn't just like, hey, we're just positive that tomorrow is going to come and everything's going to be brighter, but there was action always aligned with that. And for me, when I saw that in as a kid, coming to terms with a lot of failure points, a lot of pain, but yet having my grounding in my family, in my grounding also in my faith, that there was hope, that there will occasionally there will be a relief coming, is what really kept us going. And I learned that from experiencing it in my body. Now, fast forward later on, I had a lot of opportunities to put that into place, because life happens, right? I mean, it happens. It
yeah.
doesn't have to be a terminal disease. It can be something that happened, a car accident. It can be losing a job. It can be relationship problems. There's a lot of areas that we need to use that hope. So as growing up is something that I started going back to, even like, okay, how did I get through? I mean, I've been through worse. So I know getting this order wrong is not that bad, especially with 5 kids. Um, so realizing that it's the same skill, and it is a skill of hope. Using the skill of hope, using the what hope allows us to do, and apply it to different areas, is how I started getting through it. A bit more about how I saw hope is in light of, again, it was a what I was battling was a terminal disease. There was no cure in sight. So it wasn't like, hey, if we do this, we're going to get this. If we do that, there was no roadmap to follow. Especially with as a child, there's not much research at the time. There wasn't with heart disease. So as my doctors were going again in that failure, is yet seeing the perseverance. So one of the key things I learned about hope is that hope allows to persevere, and hope allows to make a way where there is no way. And hope, it looks for solutions even in light of failures. So those were the first main takeaways that I got to learn as a kid and as a young adult growing up.
Oh, and what an amazing foundation for leadership.
Yes, yeah, it's the difference maker. And honestly, hope is a difference
Yes.
maker, between success and failure. I can't say that I always used hope because like I said, you grow up and then other things start taking priority, right? I mean, I remember that with my business. I remember that I was almost, sometimes I felt like a sitting duck, as a response to what circumstances were happening around me, and I totally forgot. And this is where it's so amazing, the team and the people you surround yourself with, because that's where you're able to then reference back. And it's like, you know what? That's right. You know what? Wait a second. Let me check myself in there. And as a leader, that is one of the things. Sometimes we think it's a time management problem. Like, oh, I don't have time for that. And what it really came to be, no, that's a hope problem. Because when I'm hopeful in something, I'm going to look into it. And if I'm not hopeful in it, I'm going to avoid it. So I started
Yes.
to look at that in leadership. What was I avoiding? Because then that told me that's not that I don't have time for it. I just hadn't lost hope in that area. And I learned that that lesson I got to learn many times over. Until, and I've been very grateful for each one of those lessons, because it's really catapulted and realigned the entire way I lead.
Yeah. And you've described basically like what that looks like almost in entrepreneurship, right?
Mhm.
You want to go into just a little more detail and what that looks like? Because I agree. And when I was looking through your information and I was thinking about my own entrepreneurial journey
Yeah.
and our definition, right?
Yeah.
And is that determination, I feel like for me, and that I had some intuition too on no, this is just my belief. And I think that
Yeah.
is hope, right? When we break down the definition of it. But yeah, talk to me about what that looked like for you in your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, and that's such a good point, Ali. Because hope. It has to be the leading part in entrepreneurship. You are in many sense in the grind every day. Like every day, you could even like feel like, oh my goodness, I wake up unemployed every day. I gotta go get it, right? So
Yeah,
that's what it.
so true.
Yeah, that's the real feeling. It's like I gotta go make something happen. So, and that's the part, right? Because then hope also sounds like I have to make it happen. It's like okay, when I'm hopeful, it's like, well, what can I rely on? I mean, and it's having faith in the alignment and the belief. Well, what is the belief? What am I doing? In entrepreneurship, what I came to find that one of the main things that we have as a leader is we have to define reality. When you have low hope, and a lot of times we confuse that. Well, high hope means being just positive thinking. And positive thinking could be very well more of a passive, like, hey, we're just gonna think positively and we're gonna move forward, whatever that is. But there's no real action or results or attached to that, and that's not what hope is at all. Hope actually it allows you to take an action step, but also a measurable action step. Hope is not blind at what's happening to me or it being in amnesia of what my past was. That's not what high hope means at all. It's in light of what my past was. If I have high hope, then I can be a part of redefining my future. And
Yeah.
that's what hope does. It allows us to be able to get the energy, because it does take energy to be able to come up with a solution and look at the reality. It's hard for any entrepreneur or business owner. When you've done a SWOT analysis, if anybody has done a SWOT analysis, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's called the brutal reality, the current state of where we're at as a business. So, where we're looking at our strengths, but we're also looking at our weaknesses, and then we're also looking at our opportunities, but then we're also looking at the threats. And that takes courage.
Yeah.
And in that part with hope, is being able to not only look at it, this is where we're at, but I'm not going to let this define me because this is not my final point. Hope tells me there is a greater place to arrive to right now. There's a greater future. There is a better future. So hope speaks to me in the midst of defining that. And it is a muscle. It literally it is a muscle. It is something that we grow. It's not just this concept like, hey, I'm hoping for better days. This hope is part of the strategy. It actually lets you start on a strategic way and be able to not only that but take action. Again, with me, for example, I was a kid. I mean, my doctors, that I'm this girl, right? I'm 4 years old. I'm 10 years old. I'm 12 years old. They're doing open heart surgery. They're put it like different drugs that had not been tested in kids, just in trying to find hope. So it wasn't trying to find a cure, utilizing hope. So it wasn't just that, oh, we're just gonna throw spaghetti at the wall and see what happens. They're very much aware that, hey, this is a high stakes place where we're not only helping this girl, in the case me, to stay alive, but also what is it going to do. They were recording that so that it didn't just help me. At the end of the day, they did find a cure. I mean, I'm here like
Yeah.
30 something years later. So their hope, their failures, their learning points, they didn't just learn from me and help me. But as far as I knew, when they did a 20-year anniversary of this surgery, which is the heart ablation, it had helped 3,000 other kids.
Wow.
And that is what hope does. Hope may help you get through that circumstance, but it's not just to get through that moment. I mean, when you see and you put it into action, it is so much more the reward even on the other side. And that is something definitely to be hopeful about.
You hit on it a little bit, but I just want to touch on the idea of faking hope.
Mm.
What are your thoughts about that?
Well, first of all, it's fake, so it's not sustainable. um, and like again, we misjudge being positive with being hopeful.
Yes. Yes.
Again, not recognizing the reality doesn't help people. Actually, many times it hurts. It hurts when somebody doesn't acknowledge the pain, doesn't acknowledge the wrongs. So hope actually helps you acknowledge. Acknowledgement many times is the first step, right? We got to acknowledge. That's why when we talk about the self-aware leader, and in a self-aware leader, and I hear that, right? You like fake it till you make it. Well, that's not going to help you be self-aware all the time. And I understand we do things afraid, and I think that's really the heart. I mean, we got to look at the heart of that. Is do things even when you don't feel ready.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. uh, Self-aware also will know like, hey, I'm not ready yet, but I'm doing these things, right? Like that the whole yet understanding I'm here, yet I'm going to take the step in full faith of seeing what the possibilities can be. I'm curious. And being fake or thinking that fake or this like I'm the greatest person there is or whatever it could be, it may not necessarily help you to prepare for those opportunities. So it may even get in the way. One of the things when we're looking at, well, when do we need hope? I mean, hope we need it if you look at it when things look a bit gloom. That really where we see the hope kicks in, right? When I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen. I don't even have the answer right now. Has nobody has done this before, those times, right? But we won't take action either if we haven't been preparing. And a lot of times, that hope is like, I don't know what this looks like now, but looking, I've been preparing so that I can take I can take that opportunity. In hope allows for that preparation to happen. Um, Fake does not, and fake is not sustainable. uh, Lying to myself or lying to my team about what the possibilities could be, it doesn't serve them. And what we really want, and what even the world is asking for, what we're asking for, integrity, we're asking for real. I mean, even this generation, I think this generation, one of the main things that we see the difference, the gaps in the generation, is because this young generation wants transparency. They want integrity. They want reality, because everything else is like you just don't even know if it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that's what we're crying for. Hope allows you to be real. Hope allows you to like, hey, this is where we're at. This is what's going on. But I'm hopeful that if we employ this or we engage in this or we whatever it is that we had even from the past mistakes, right? Past failures, past wins, our team, that we can create something better together.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay. So, do you have a mentor that you feel has really, really guided you
Oh
along your
yeah.
path?
Well, John Maxwell.
Yes.
He really has. I mean, not only is because he's a great teacher in leadership, but there's one thing when people teach it, and there's another when people actually do it,
Yeah.
and to stake their entire reputations in it. And that's something that I've been able to observe in John. Not only does he train us in this, but with the country transformations, and I don't know if you're familiar with the country transformations, he literally goes in with the heads of states, with the presidents. He's operating in the hope that together, yes, if we do train in values based leadership, which hope is one of those, that we really can turn the futures of the countries around. We really can fix what, or start having a conversation around what's broken, and not hate each other afterwards, but come with solutions together. So being part of his team, being part of his transformation trips, I have really not only put a face, the reality of what it looks like to go into an area with hope, but actually putting that hope in action. Again, country transformations, we talk about, well, transforming one, we talk about transforming an organization, well, transforming an entire country. So seeing him do this type of work has been extremely inspirational to me, and also having the ability to be able to be a part of it as well.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay.
Thank
How
you.
about a quote that you feel really embodies this leadership skill of hope?
So I have a few on hope, but if I have to think one, it's the one that I think really got to me when I read it, and at the time when I read it, it impacted me so much because I was going through some hardships, and it spoke to me loudly at that moment, and that is that Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are Anger and Courage. Anger at the way that things are, and courage to see that they do not remain the same. And that is by Augustine of Hippo. Um, and I think a lot of times is because hope can have emotions, and not necessarily. I think it gave me the permission to. Doesn't have to be like this happy, bubbly thing at all. No, I mean there is an anger side to hope, right? I mean that
Yes.
it's like looking at it like, no, I'm not fine with things being like this. I'm not okay with us going this way. And even when I say that, I'm still hopeful in that because I can say that because I am hopeful that there's better. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, yes, that's completely correct. I mean, I can say that because I know there is better in the courage. Because to make sure that, yeah, courage to take one step. I got, how can I be part of that solution? I can't stay in anger. And that's not going to change anything. That's an emotion, and I'm thankful for that emotion. But I have to be courageous to also be part of the solution. And I can't do that without hope. So I loved that quote at a time because it was like, yes, I do see things I had to change, things I had to change in me, things I had to change in the circumstance, things I had to change that I wanted to change the impact I wanted to have. But then it was going to take courage. It was going to take like, hey, me standing up, and it was going to take a lot of different parts that I had to grow in. And having hope that it can be better opened the door for me to take that step to grow in them so that then I can serve better.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share before we close with your favorite snack?
Oh my goodness. Well, for me, really hope for all my leaders out there, it is the heartbeat of transformation. It is something that we do have to fuel daily. It's not a one time thing, it's not a one time epiphany thing. But I would say the greatest lessons for me came from hope, and also in being courageous. Using that to really take a look at where you're at within your growth, where you're at in your organization. And like I said, one of my greatest realizations was when I thought I had a time management problem. And I mean, I'm great at taking all kind of classes, right? Oh, sure, I can do this time management course. I can get this organizer. I can get this new software and stuff. And really, the answer was so simple that I needed hope in that area. So I will say to my leaders and listeners out there, don't dismiss the areas, the things that you haven't seen a change yet as a, I need one more thing. No, you got exactly what you need. You got exactly what you need inside of you. And it's letting it come out and be surround yourself with people that are also high hope, and you'll be able to see amazing change. Again, remember water. Water initially finds a way, but eventually it makes a way.
Yeah.
And that's how hope works. Hope looks for a way, right? It's looking for that little, well, where can I grab that little bit? Where can I grab onto maybe this one thing? But hope eventually does make that way. And I will have to say one of the other parts that really spoke to me again was from Steve Jobs, who said that those that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And those are the people with hope. So it does take a little bit of crazy. So
Yeah.
it's okay if you're
Yeah.
crazy, and it's okay when you're full of high hope that people think you're crazy. Think you're in the right spot.
So good. Okay. What's your favorite snack?
Dark chocolate covered almonds. I like it because
Ooh.
they're soft and yet they're hard, and then they can be sweet and they can be salty. So it has a bit of both. So it serves those two. It's like I like the opposites coming together in for that. So that's one of my favorites.
So good. Oh, Hannah, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge. I really appreciate you.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Thanks for having me and thanks for doing this. I love what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ellie.
Thank you for tuning in to Snack Leadership. I hope you felt inspiration, motivation, and felt your mindset spark. Snack Leadership is recorded and produced by myself, Ali Camilletti, and music by Shireen Amini.